Hi, I'm Justine.
And I'm Bram, and you're watching Queens TV.
Hello, this is Julie Stewart-Binks for Queens TV at the Physical Education Center. As most students are well aware by now, a review was comprised last spring by Janice Deacon and Bob Crawford with concerns with the current Queens athletics. Now, we're going to focus on the inter-university aspect of sport. However, there are a number of different areas that the review talks about. So, why don't we go sit down with a couple of coaches and see what they have to say about the proposed recommendations?
It's a good thing, and I think it's something that it's needed here at Queens. You know, we're trying to build excellence in the program, and in order to do that, you know, you got to make some tough decisions, and that's what Leslie's willing to do when she came in here. And they did a great job. They didn't, I think, put anything aside. They put everything on the table. Now they just have some tough decisions to make.
What kind of threat does this propose to the fencing team?
Oh, that's a significant threat. Our goal is, of course, to compete in the Inter-University League, in the OUs, and we need to do everything that we can to be sure that that happens. I don't take the review very well. I have real concerns about the adequacy of the review coming from a university of the standards that Queens has. So I've been very critical of the review, and I'm pleased to have an opportunity to share my views.
I think at this point the issue really is are we competitive with the rest of the country? And in terms of funding, the answer would be no. In terms of facilities, the answer would be no. And in terms of time to participate at our sport, the answer would be no. So I think when you look at what's proposed in the athletic review, it would start to bring us up to the level that would allow us to be competitive across the country.
What is the athletics review saying in terms of inter-university sport?
Well, I think there's two key messages. One, I think that it's really difficult to sort of separate the inter-university sport out of the entire review because it does have implications into campus recreation as well. For example, use of gym time, things like that. Right. But I think the review is asking Queens to really come up with a vision and a direction for inter-university sport, and then challenging the athletic department to deliver on that objective.
If the athletics review was to be passed, how would this affect the fencing team? What would this mean for the team?
As I understand it, there are going to be three categories of athletics at Queens. One is IU, the inter-university, and then there are two sports categories, sports teams or sports club categories. There's a Tier 1 and there's a recreational. And Tier 1 is able still to compete in a league and will be eligible for grants from athletics. So the difference for fencing would be, whereas if we were an IU, you'd have money anyway. If you're in a Tier 1 sport, Tier 1 club, you'd have to apply for grants. And grants, of course, can be denied or withdrawn. So it puts us in a precarious position.
There's been a lot of criticism towards the term funding and how increased funding is going to get more results. How do you think, in terms of the basketball team, increased funding is going to help you gain that competitive edge?
Well, it's a number of things that are involved with that. One is the ability to recruit quality student athletes and to get out and see them across the country. The other one is to make our program attractive to those same student athletes so that we have the ability to have a very competitive schedule that will allow us to travel to see teams that we need to beat in order to be successful in the country. Those types of things are very important.
The major component about hockey is it does cost so much to run. Right. There's no hiding the agenda there, but in order to be able to be competitive with every other team in the league, we need those funds, and we actually probably need more funds than what we have right now, and that's what makes it really tough when you're looking at the sports individually. Obviously, hockey is going to cost a lot more money than track and field, and now they have to weigh what's more important to the success of the school, be it track and field, be it badminton, or be it hockey, and that's where the tough decisions are going to lie.
The competitive program is really made up about trying to put your athletes in the best position that they can to win, and so making sure that your program is competitive with what your competition offers. I think in terms of criticism of the review and the evaluation criteria, I'm not really sure that I understand where people are critiquing it.
The sports that Queen's Athletics seems to wish to have represented in IU are CIS sports.
Right.
What the review fails to understand is that there are many who participate in OU sports who are actually working at national levels. We have a fencer who is ranked 7th in her sport. Wow. And that's a significant achievement, but this isn't recognized.
In terms of criteria of ranking, what are your thoughts? Do you think the information assessment is validated?
Absolutely. I think they did a great job. I really think they looked at everything, but there's more than just wins, losses, and funds that go along with it. You know, it'd be a sad day if Queen's University lost Canada's #1 ranked sport in hockey, and that's the things that they have to look into, and I think they will, and I think they'll put the time in it to know what means the most to the school.
The possibility exists that there may be a reduction in some of the teams in some of the sports. I don't see it being very drastic by any means. In fact, it will only be minor. But in reality, I think what that does actually is increase the competition across the country, because schools that are having difficulty funding programs to make them competitive will no longer be in that, but they can take those funds then and put them into another sport to make other sports more competitive. Carleton University is probably one of the most best examples close at hand, is when they dropped their football program feeling that they couldn't be competitive with that. They put that money into other sports and they became extremely competitive in basketball in a very short period of time.
Reviews are necessary.
Right.
I'm an academic, or I was. I'm retired now. I was an academic here for 35 years. Reviews are really important to our work. They make us think differently, think better, be more productive. They're good for programs too. So I wholly endorse having reviews. I want fair reviews, and I want reviews that take account of not just the empirical issues, but also the contextual issues. This review makes no mention at all of the diversity in the student population.
Right.
Queen's Fencing has 30% of its students are visible minorities. You can't find another team representing that sort of diversity in this campus.
The reality is we can't continue to do what we do with the amount of resources we have. I think the other reality is we've heard, and I would be totally supportive of the fact that participation is really important. And I think it is important on a residential campus. I think participation across all of our programs, whether it be Interuniversity or Campus Rec, those are important things, and that we need to honor and respect that. I think that, but if we truly want to win and we truly want successful programs, and I would say that I don't define winning, being successful based on winning. I think winning is about putting everything in place to allow you to be in the best possible position so that on the day of the game, the better team will win. That's what the tone of the review is trying to say, that participation is really important, but if we really want to go after and be competitive and be known for our athletics, then we have certain decisions to make.
Well, there you have it. It looks like we've got a lot of different views coming from a variety of coaches here at Queen's University. And it's not just up to them. It's up to you too. So come out and talk to Karen Hitchcock whenever you want. Feel free to express whatever views you have, any ideas, insights, whatever you want, because she's not going to make any decisions about the review until at least December 31st. So if you've got something to say, don't hide it. Let everyone know. This is Julie Stewart-Binks for Queen's TV, signing off.